So, you finally decided to get a VPN and now you want to know a little more about how it works. Or perhaps you already have a VPN, but you're unsure about what to do next. Whatever stage you're at in your journey, and whatever your level of confidence with VPNs, in this video, we are going to walk through step by step how to set up a VPN on every single device that you might own. That's right. Every platform is covered, and we're going to break it down as clearly as possible so that by the time you're done watching, you will be transformed into a VPN setup expert. The devices we're going to cover off will be Windows laptops and computers, Apple iMacs and MacBooks, Linux devices, Android smartphones and tablets, Apple iPhones and iPads, Amazon Fire streaming devices, Apple TV, Smart TV, games consoles, routers, and web browsers. For Top 10 VPN, I'm Callum, and if you're ready, let's get started. Now, straight off the bat, you're probably here because you want to install your VPN on a specific device. If that's the case, then I suggest that you use the timestamps in the description to skip to the chapter that you want. If YouTube's working properly, the timeline of the video should also be neatly segmented so that you can find the section that you're looking for. As we go through these steps for each device, you can either skip through until you find the part that's giving you trouble, or might I suggest following along at home. Go through the steps alongside me, and that way you can pause and resume after each point, and you're not being rushed. As we go through each platform, we'll also cover some general advice that's applicable to every app that you don't want to miss. Each of these sets of instructions will presume that you've already taken out of subscription to a paid VPN and that your account is set up and ready to go. Different VPNs can handle those steps in different ways, but you've probably managed it just fine on your own. For our example walkthroughs, we'll be using ExpressVPN. That's because it has apps for all of the platforms that we're covering, and it's the VPN that I actually use myself in my personal life, and it's just really good. Now, with all the small print out the way, let's begin. Windows PC and laptop. If you're a Windows user, then you're in luck. Most VPN companies design their product with Windows in mind. It'll usually have the widest range of features, get the latest updates first, and look the nicest. To begin, head to your VPN's website and log in. Then download the Windows installer. This will usually be a .exe file, an executable. Double-click on it to open it up and follow the steps. Doesn't really matter where you install it, so leaving on the defaults is fine. Once the process is complete, launch the VPN for the first time by double-clicking on the desktop shortcut. And if Windows gives you any dialog pop-ups, just click OK. It's fine, I promise. You'll now need to sign in, which will usually be done via your username and password, maybe an activation key, or in some instances, a unique code or even a one-time email link. Once you're logged in, you're officially complete. But that was easier than you thought. There's nothing else essential that you need to do. These instructions are predominantly for Windows 10 and 11. If you've been using computers for as long as I have, they may still feel like the new kids on the block, but the sad truth is that support for Windows 8 and older versions is minimal. And not just from VPNs, but from Microsoft itself. In the interest of security, I strongly recommend updating to at least Windows 10 if you haven't already. macOS. The good news for all the Mac users out there is that the industry has advanced a great deal in the past 10 years, and you're no longer treated like second-class citizens compared to Windows users. Every reputable VPN will have a top-notch Mac client that will be largely comparable with its Windows sibling. To begin, head to your VPN's website and choose to download the Mac installer. There's a chance here that you may be linked to the Mac App Store, in which case simply click the install button once you're redirected. As a side note, please make sure to always follow the link from an official source rather than just searching for the VPN on the store itself. Illegitimate clones and knockoffs can spring up from time to time. If you've downloaded a Mac installer file of your VPN, it will likely either be a .dmg file or a .pkg file. Double-click to run them and you'll either be shown a step-by-step installer, in which case follow it, or you might simply be shown an icon for the VPN, in which case open a new Finder window and drag and drop the icon into your Applications folder. Now, run the VPN, which you can find via Launchpad or the search bar. Log in with the user credentials you established when you signed up, and you're ready to go. The VPN should walk you through it, but when you attempt to connect for the first time, you may see a pop-up asking you about adding a VPN configuration, something like that. Agree to it. It's just the VPN installing what it needs to work properly. And now that you're a routine VPN user, it's important that you keep macOS up to date going forwards. I know it can be tempting to put it off again and again, ignoring the little notifications your Mac shows you, but those updates are now a matter of your personal security. Get them installed and downloaded as soon as you can to ensure that your VPN continues to work properly. Linux. Don't worry, Linux users. Unlike so many software developers out there, I haven't forgotten about you. Installing a VPN on Linux can be straightforward, or it can be fairly complicated, but hey, look who I'm talking to here. You're a Linux user. You've almost certainly come to expect that by now. Head to your VPN provider's website and log in. If you're lucky, it will provide either a .run file or a .deb file for the distro you're on. Firstly, download the VPN's .run file to your downloads folder, then right-click on it and open it with software install. Once that's run, open a new terminal. Change the directory with the command cd space downloads. As we're installing PIA, we'll run the command sh followed by the name of the latest version of PIA that we just downloaded. This file name will change as newer versions are released, so make sure it matches whatever version you downloaded. Don't just copy off the screen here. When prompted, type in your root or sudo password. Select login and enter your credentials. Then you'll be presented with a version of PIA that looks pretty similar to the versions on Windows and macOS. That's what makes it one of our personal favorites for Linux. It's great to see a VPN company that actually cares about Linux users. I do apologize if this section wasn't strictly useful for the version of Linux that you're running or for your VPN. There are so many different distributions nowadays, and every VPN likes to do things a little differently. That's all part of the fun of using Linux. Android. For your Android smartphone or tablet, there are two common ways of setting up a VPN, the easy way and the not so easy way. Starting with the simple method, grab your Android device and open the Google Play Store. Search for the VPN you've just subscribed to and download it. Personally, I'd recommend doing the sign up process beforehand on a computer, as it makes all the typing and form filling a lot quicker. Then, open the app up and follow the login steps. The first time you use it, it might ask you to allow it to install a VPN profile on your device. That's fine and is a necessary part of how it works. You're all set and ready to use the VPN. That's all well and good, but what about the second method? If you're a long-time Android user, you may have heard of it before. It's called side loading. The way it works is that rather than downloading the app via the Google Play Store, you instead download the installer directly, usually in the form of a .apk file. Normally, the reason for doing this is that you're perhaps in a region where the app isn't available, due either to rights reasons or, in the case of VPNs, because they're banned. Once the .apk file is downloaded, all you need to do is run it and follow the steps we just outlined. Please be careful though, because you're sidestepping the Google Play Store with this method, and that means you're also sidestepping the various safety and security checks that come with it. Downloading .apk files from unknown sources is a massive security risk that could potentially inflict irreparable damage on your Android device. Only download .apks from 100% official sources, like we did in our example with NordVPN, straight from its website. iOS and iPadOS. As you're probably used to as an Apple device user, installing a VPN on your iPhone or iPad might just be the simplest method out of all the ones we'll go through in this video. Open the App Store on your smartphone or tablet, search for the VPN you have a subscription to, and tap Get. As I said in the Android section, sign up beforehand on a computer if you can to minimize the amount of typing on a touchscreen needed. Follow the steps to log in and you're done. What you spend in money with an iPhone, you make up for in time saved, or at least that's what I like to tell myself. We have encountered very rare instances of VPNs requiring the use of an app called TestFlight to be installed on Apple mobile devices. TestFlight is a beta testing program for Apple app developers. It's all perfectly legitimate and involves downloading the TestFlight app and then installing the VPN within it. If you come across a VPN that insists on being installed on iOS or iPadOS this way, my expert advice is don't. Just get another VPN. At the point we're at with VPNs and how far they've come, it's basically inexcusable to not have a proper iPhone and iPad release. Don't make life any harder for yourself. Amazon Fire TV. Amazon's range of Fire TV streaming devices, that's all the different sticks plus the cube, do things a little differently to most other popular streaming boxes, as you'll know if you own one. One of the many things they have in common with Android streaming devices is that there's two ways to set up a VPN, a quick way and a much longer way. First, the quick way. Just search for the VPN you want on the Amazon App Store, choose to download it, and then run it for the first time. Just like with most other devices we've discussed so far, I'd recommend you set up your account on a computer beforehand so you don't give yourself hand cramp typing out all those details using the Fire TV remote. Although, pro tip, you can connect a wireless keyboard to your Fire TV via Bluetooth if you happen to have one. A number of VPNs also let you get set up by logging in on desktop, then entering a specially generated code on your Fire TV device to save time, which is always appreciated. But let's say the VPN you want isn't available on the App Store. In that case, just like we discussed with Android, you need to sideload it. But put simply, FireOS is actually based on Android. At its core, it's basically the same software, but with some Amazon customization and limitation thrown over the top. This means that if an app is capable of running on Android, then there's an extremely high chance it can run on your Fire TV stick or Cube too. Sideloading simply means obtaining one of these Android setup files, normally a .apk file, and installing it outside of the Amazon App Store. Here's how to do it. First of all, go to Find and search for Downloader. Install that app, as it's what we're going to use to run your VPN's installer file. Now, go to your device's settings menu, scroll to My Fire TV, then About. With the name of your device highlighted, press the select button on your remote 7 times. You'll see a little countdown, so no need to count, and it will grant you access to developer options. They let you do a ton of stuff that's probably not all that interesting to you, but among them is this next step. Go back one screen to the My Fire TV menu, and you'll see a new option, Developer Options. Select it, and then select Install Unknown Apps. On this next screen, you'll see the Downloader app we just installed, and toggle it to On. Now you're ready to run Downloader. Open it from within your app library and agree to allow it to access photos, media, and files on the device. Then, just to be on the safe side, go into the settings menu within Downloader and check the box next to Enable JavaScript. There might be something that's needed to make certain websites load properly. Okay, we're nearly done. Now, all that's left to do is to use the browser within the Downloader app to navigate to the website you want and download the file you're after. You'll use your Fire TV remote just like a mouse to navigate around the website and find the download button for whatever .apk file it is that you want. Once you select it, you should see a pop-up window asking if you want to install it. Follow the prompts and the app will appear in your library, ready to use, just like any other. One thing to bear in mind with this method, and it's really not so complex once you get used to it, is that apps you install via it won't stay updated. You'll need to repeat the process each time a major update is released or the app breaks. As a VPN adjacent note, this can be a really useful way of installing apps for streaming services that aren't available in your country. Let's say you live in the UK, for example, but want to watch Max. The service won't launch in the UK until 2026, so the app isn't on the UK Amazon App Store. But using the right VPN, you've already been able to sign up and create a Max account, and you've been watching on your laptop or PC. But wouldn't it be nice to be able to watch on your Fire TV too? Well, just find the official .apk file for Max and install it that way, the way we just discussed. Use your VPN to connect to a server that works, and you can stream it on your big screen. Apple TV. Surprised to see Apple TV on this list? That's fair enough. Apple's streaming box has only been permitting VPN apps since late 2023, but we believe it's better late than never, and like you, are pretty excited by the prospect. The upside is that installation is incredibly simple. Find your VPN on the App Store on your Apple TV, select Get, and follow the steps to sign in once it's downloaded. The downside is that you might not be able to find your VPN on the Apple TV App Store. At the time of recording this video, the majority of the big names in the VPN market are yet to actually release an app for Apple TV, and unlike with Fire TV, there's no way to sideload them. Apple doesn't really like that sort of thing. They'll doubtless be added with time, but if you're an undecided potential customer, perhaps check to see if any VPN you like the look of has an Apple TV app before you make your purchasing decision. Smart TV. Smart TVs are complex, as just how you can go about installing a VPN on yours depends entirely on what brand it is. In fact, it's such a long topic that we've already created a video about it. I've put the link in the description, so my advice is that you scroll down, give it a click, and watch that video instead for full steps. At a glance though, if you have a smart TV that runs on Android TV, you can install VPN apps straight from the Play Store. If you're an iPhone user and have a TV that supports AirPlay, or an Android user with a TV that supports casting, you can wirelessly play VPN spoofed content from your device that way. And if your TV doesn't allow for any of that, we suggest setting up a VPN and the content you want to stream on your laptop, and then connecting it to your TV via an HDMI cable. Again, I won't make this video any longer or bore my cameraman by going through it all over again, but we provide a full walkthrough with visuals in the dedicated video. Games consoles. Setting up a VPN on games consoles is a bit like setting them up on smart TVs. They can't actually support VPNs directly. Whether you game on Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo, the steps are the same. And what's more, we've already done a full step-by-step walkthrough video using Xbox as an example. So once more, I'm going to recommend you watch that video for the full step-by-step breakdown. It's quite technical, but we take you through it comprehensively in plain English, just as you've come to expect. To touch on what we talk about, we recommend hotspotting the VPN connection via your Windows computer, connecting your Windows laptop to the console via Ethernet cable, or using a VPN router app. Speaking of which, router. Setting up a VPN on your router can be a fantastic idea. It gives you coverage right at the source and is a one-time installation for every single device connected to it. Not just your phone or laptop, but also those weird little internet-connected bits and pieces you couldn't normally cover, like your smart fridge. But there is a catch. Your router almost certainly will not be able to support a VPN. I know that we don't know each other, and that's not me making a judgment on your character, I'm just playing the odds here. VPN-compatible routers are a specialist piece of equipment. The ones that come free from your ISP don't support VPNs. The ones that do are super expensive. We're talking well over $100 at a minimum. And what's more, even if you do buy one, the VPN setup process is long-winded and tedious. It involves setting up individual VPN server configuration files one at a time with no real ability to swap between them quickly on the fly, plus your VPN needs to actually offer them. That is, unless you're an ExpressVPN subscriber. ExpressVPN is, for some reason, the only VPN to have created a usable, slick, and generally excellent app for VPN-compatible routers. It's also made its own router, the AirCove, which comes with everything already set up. If you are both an ExpressVPN customer and a proud owner of a router that supports it, then here is how to set up ExpressVPN on your router. First, log in and head to the router setup section on the ExpressVPN website and download the appropriate firmware. Select your router model from the drop-down menu and click the download firmware button. Please make absolutely sure that you've chosen the right model of router. I'm not trying to scare you, but if you get it wrong, you can completely break the thing, so no pressure. Make a note of your ExpressVPN activation code, as you'll need it later. Open a new browser tab and enter your IP address into the browser to access your router's settings. Then log into your router's admin dashboard. If you don't know the details, I personally suggest referring to routerpasswords.com, a wonderful website with the default info for every router on the market listed. Now you upload the ExpressVPN firmware that you downloaded earlier. Once upload is complete, reboot your router by following the prompts. If it takes a while, don't panic and definitely don't unplug the router or start messing around with it. One thing you should do though is check the list of available Wi-Fi connections on your computer. Once rebooted, your router may have reset its name and password to the factory default, along with the password. Reconnect it and go to ExpressVPN's website at expressvpnrouter.com to activate your VPN router. Click Get Started and enter the activation code you made a note of earlier. You'll now be asked to customize your Wi-Fi network by creating a Wi-Fi username and password, and then click Continue. Create a router admin password and click Continue once again when you're finished. You can now control your router and ExpressVPN simply by visiting expressvpnrouter.com on any device connected to it. It's all controlled inside the browser and looks exactly like the ExpressVPN app. It's honestly really great. It's just a shame that this sort of thing is unavailable to so many other VPN users. Web browser extension. A number of VPNs offer browser extensions. That means they can be installed within your web browser and used from there, rather than opening up the full desktop app. To see if yours is available, just go to the extensions or add-on store and search for your VPN, and then click Add. I do have some warnings for you though. Firstly, Google Chrome is overwhelmingly the most supported browser by VPNs. If you don't use Chrome, I totally get it, but its popularity means that VPNs prioritize it. However, that does mean that a number of those VPN extensions are available on Opera and Opera GX too, as they're based on Chromium. That's the open source software that Chrome itself is built upon. If you're an Opera user, you need to visit the Chrome web store and install them from there. They don't all work in our experience, but you can either check our reviews or try them yourself to find out for sure. Alternatively, they may be available natively in the Opera add-on store. Mozilla Firefox is also supported by a number of VPNs, as is Microsoft Edge to a lesser degree. Apologies to Safari users. Apple actually removed VPN extension support within Safari despite once allowing it. My other warning is that VPN extensions usually work differently to their desktop apps. For the most part, they will only encrypt your browser traffic, so all the other stuff you're doing is exposed just like normal. I say for the most part because there are some exceptions like ExpressVPN, which work more like a remote control for the full app and actually cover your whole system. These extensions also tend to use weaker encryption standards and protocols. They can be faster but less effective. Extensions also have fewer features or even fewer servers sometimes than their desktop counterpart. If anything, we recommend really just using the desktop app instead, or maybe both at the same time if you like. Wow, that was a lot of instructions. Who knew that there were so many different ways to install a VPN? And the list will probably only grow as time goes by. If we've somehow missed your favorite or most troublesome platform, then please drop me a comment letting me know and I'll be happy to extend some help. Consider liking and subscribing to help us if you've learned anything, and I'll catch you in the next one.